Nanhua P6 Term 1 Non-Weighted Assessment for 2024. Let's look at paper 1. For paper 1, the use of calculators is not allowed. Question 1. Arrange the following fractions from the greatest to the smallest. Okay, so we have three different fractions. What we want to do is to be able to compare the three fractions. So what we want to do is change the denominator to the same number. Okay, you can choose whether you want to change the numerator or the denominator to the same number. But okay, let's change the denominator to the same number over here. So the lowest common multiple of 4, 5, and 6 is 60. Okay, so the lowest common multiple of 4, 5, and 6 is 60. Okay, so let's change them. So 3/4. To change it over 60, we times 15. So 3 times 15 is 45. And we have 4/5. So 4/5, if you want to change it to over 60, this is multiplied by 12. And lastly, 5/6. To change over 60, I times 10. Okay, from here I compare my smallest is 45/60, which is 3/4. So this is the smallest. Then my greatest will be 50/60. So since you want to start with the greatest, so we start with 5, 6, and then 4/5, lastly 3/4. So answer is 2. Question 2, express 2 and 6/25 as a decimal. If you want to express a fraction as a decimal, you should either make it like over 10, over 100, over 1,000, and so on. So since I have over 25, right, I'm going to change it to over 100. Okay, so I multiply top and bottom by 4 to make it over 100. So keep the 2 whole, the 2 whole is still there. So this is over 100, and then we have 24/100. So this in decimal is 2.24. 24 hundredths is 0.24. Okay, so answer is 2. Okay, question 3, we have a fraction multiplied by a fraction. When we want to take a fraction times a fraction, what we do is you can just multiply numerator by numerator, denominator by denominator, or you can actually simplify first, which makes it much easier to calculate with our calculator. Okay, this means that you have a number at the top, numerator, and a number in the denominator. Both can be divided by the same number if they can be divided by the same number. So example here is 12 and 3. Both can be divided by 3. Okay, so I have this. Then what I want to do now is to multiply numerator by numerator, denominator by denominator. Okay, so answer is 5/8. Question 4. 2/3 minus something over 12 equals to 1/4. What is the missing number? Okay, what we want to do here is to change everything to the same denominator. Common denominator will be 12. So instead of 2/3, this becomes 8/12. 8 minus something over 12. And then this will be 3/12. So the missing number is what? So 8 minus something gives you 3, right? So 8 minus 5. Or you can do like 8/12 minus 3/12. And that will give you 5/12. So the missing number is a 5. So answer 2. Question 5. A handbag cost $250. Kelly bought the bag and was given a 20% discount. She had to pay a 8% GST on the discounted price. How much did she pay for the handbag inclusive of the GST? Okay, so first, the $250, right? That's the original price. So we have discount and GST in this question. Never ever combine discount percentage and GST percentage. Okay, think of them as layers. So $250 is the original price. The first one we want to apply is the discount, the percentage discount. So after discount, she will have to pay 80%. So this will be the original 100%. Okay, so what you want to do is to take 250 divide by 100 to give you 1%, then multiply it by 80 to find 80%. Okay, this will give us $200. Alternatively, you can also write, if you want to find 80% of that, is 80 over 100 times 250. Okay, this will also give us 200. Okay, now this is $200 is the amount after discount. And what we need to do now is to calculate what is after GST. Okay, so anything before GST is always treated as 100%. So now this 200 is the new 100% if we are talking about the GST layer. Okay, so 200 is 100%, so I'll divide it by 100 to find the new 1%. Then if you want to find inclusive of GST, means after GST, it will be 108%. Okay, take note GST is add on, not less. So this will be 216. So answer option 3. Question 6. Find the value of 56 times 2. Express your answer as a mixed number in the simplest form. Okay, so when we have a fraction times a whole number, right? You can treat the 2 as 2 wholes is 2 wholes, 2 over 1. Okay, with that numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Or you can simplify first, which is the 6 and the 2, right? One top, one bottom. Both can be divided by 2. So you get this, and then this is 5 over 3. You need to express as mixed number. So 1 and 2/3 in the simplest form. Okay, alternatively, if you want to take the fraction times 2, right? So when you multiply by 2, you're only multiplying the numerator. So you get 10 over 6. 10 over 6 is 1 and 4/6. When you simplify, it's 1 and 2/3. Okay, either method is fine. Just remember to simplify it. Question 7. The product of two fractions is 3/8. One of the fractions is half. What is the other fraction? Okay, the product of two fractions means that if one of the fraction is half, then we have half multiplied by another fraction such that you end up with 3/8. So what we can do here is we can do the reverse, right? To find the missing fraction, I'll take the result, the product, divide by half. Okay, when we do fraction divide by fraction, we want to apply this KCF. Okay, keep, change, flip. Keep the first fraction, change the sign to times, and flip the fraction behind. So with this, I end up with fraction times fraction. And then I do what I did earlier. I simplify top and bottom, you can simplify. So the 8 and 2 can both be divided by 2. And now numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. Okay, so I end up with 3/4. Question 8. 2/3 of a pie was distributed equally among 5 boys. What fraction of the whole pie did each boy receive? Okay, we're looking for each boy. So one boy, right? Start off with 5 boys. If you label it this way, it's much easier to see like which one divide by which one. Okay, so I have 5 boys. I want to find one boy. One boy. So to do that, I have to divide by 5. Okay, so I know it's 2/3 divided by 5, not 5 divided by 2/3. So again, 5 can be treated as 5/1. So I have fraction divided by fraction. I will apply keep, change, flip. So I'll keep the first fraction, 2/3. Change the sign from divide to times. Then I flip the 5/1 and make it 1/5. So now I can't simplify any further. So I just multiply numerator times numerator, denominator times denominator. So this is the fraction of the whole pie that each boy will receive. Question 9. Mrs. Tan has 4 kg of flour. She needs 1/5 kg of flour to bake a cake. How many of such cakes can she bake? Okay, so this question is a bit harder than a normal question because of the fraction. Instead of whole number, it gives fraction, right? But we're going to do the same application. We're going to take the total. And since we know the amount for one cake, we'll take the total and divide the amount for one cake in order to find the number of cakes she can bake. Okay, so we have the total, which is 4 kg, and we divide by 1/5. Okay, so again, I have, okay, not fraction divided by fraction, but whole number divided by fraction, but we do the same application. So we want to keep the first one, or you can change it to like a fraction, but essentially the value doesn't change. 4 whole is the same as 4/1. So you keep that. Then you want to change the sign, change the divide to times, and then you want to flip the back. And now we multiply. Numerator times numerator is 20. Denominator times denominator is 1. 20/1 is the same as just 20. Okay, so she can bake 20 cakes. Next question 10. Some students attended a concert at a school auditorium. 40% of the students who attended the concert were girls. There were 168 boys who attended the concert. How many students attended the concert altogether? Right, okay, so we have girls and boys. 40% were girls, which means that the remaining 60% were boys. Okay, so 60% is 168. Okay, since we can't use a calculator, right, it's easier to find 10% instead of finding 1%. So let's find 10% from here. To find 10%, I divide it by 6, not 60. Okay, then you do your calculations. You should get 28. Now you want to find all together. All together will be 100%. So from here, I don't multiply by 100, but multiply by 10. Okay, so because I'm starting from 10%, so I multiply by 10. So answer is 280 students altogether. 11, after an increase of $80, Daniel's monthly allowance became $400. What is the percentage increase in his allowance? Okay, take note that the original allowance is treated as the 100%. Okay, so if there is an increase of $80, the new allowance is $400. So what is the original amount of money first? Okay, let's find out what's 100%. The original. Okay, so first, since the new amount is 400, the original allowance will be before the increase. This gives us $320. Okay, to find percentage increase, you have to use this formula. Increase over original times 100%. Okay, so the increase is 80. The original is 320. Then we times 100%. So one common error is that students may use 400 as the denominator, but no, you have to use the original amount, which is the $320. Okay, and this gives us 20%. Okay, without a calculator, we can simplify this. 8 and 32, then divide both by 8. So a quarter of 100, which gives us 25%. Question 12. Jenny made some milkshake. She drank 3/5 of it, and her three siblings shared the remainder equally. What fraction of the original amount of milkshake did each of her siblings get? Okay, so firstly, right, we want to draw a model, cut it into 5 first because she drank 3/5. So 5 units out of the 5, she drank 3. Then the remaining goes to the 3 siblings. Okay, since the remaining goes to the 3 siblings, right? Let's redraw and cut it into 3. So we're trying to find one sibling. Like what fraction of the total? Okay, so if you look at the remaining, right, this is 2 units, this is 3 units. They represent the same amount since it's redrawn. So what we want to do is to make it the same number of units. So 2 and 3, common multiple 6. So this will be 3 units each. And this will be 2 units each. Okay, so now we have 6 units on top, 6 units below. Then for the rest of the units will be 3 units each. So the amount that we have in total, or the number of units, will be 15 units. And each sibling took 2 units. So answer 2 out of 15. Question 13. The mass of a container that was 2/3 filled with sand was 1,200 grams. When 220 grams of sand was poured out of the container, it became half filled. Find the mass of the empty container. Okay, let's compare the container. How much of it was filled when it was filled with 1,200 grams of sand, and also when some of the sand was poured out. If we're comparing 2/3 of the container versus half of the container, right? So if we want to compare, it will be easier to make the denominator the same. So I have 2/3, I have half. The common denominator will be over 6. So this will be times 2, and then the other one times 3. If you compare, right, the difference is actually 1/6, right? So 4/6 minus 3/6. Which means that this is the amount that was being poured out. So 1/6 filled would mean 220 grams. So I want to find the container. So I need to find the amount of sand, either when it's 2/3 filled or half filled. And then I minus it off to find my container. Sorry, okay, I should find 2/3 because when it's half filled, it's not given the mass of the container was not given. Okay, let's find two-third. Two-third is 4/6. So we find 4/6 filled. So 220 grams times 4, which is 880 grams. Now remove that from 1,200 and you'll end up with a container. Okay, so 1,200 grams minus 880 grams, you get 320 grams. Okay, so that's the answer. Okay, now moving on to paper 2, which you are allowed to use the calculators. Okay, paper 2, question number 1. There were 520 principals at a conference. 2/5 of them were primary school principals. 1/4 of the remainder were junior college principals. The rest were secondary school principals. Find the number of secondary school principals at the conference. Okay, if you see the word of the remainder, right, chances are you should draw a model. Okay, and your model should be based on the first fraction. Okay, the fraction that talks about the proportion of the total. 1/4 is talking about the remainder, so let's leave that aside first. Okay, let's look at 2/5. Let's draw 5 units. Okay, so 2/5 were primary school principals. Then we have the remainder, 1/4 of the remainder. Okay, so my remainder, I will have to cut it into 4 units. And this is for JC. And the rest will be secondary school principals. Okay, from here, right, what I want to do is the remainder from the first model is 3 units, and the remainder, and this is redrawn to become 4 units. They represent the same thing, so I want to make it the same number of units. So common multiple of 3 and 4 gives us 12. So let's make it into 12 units. This will be 4 each. And the bottom one will be 3 units each. Okay, so now that I have 12 units for the remainder, top and bottom, I will label this 4 units as well. Okay, now what we want to do is to take the 520. How many units is 520? 520 is the total here from the first model, okay, not the second model, just the first model. Because the second one is redrawn from the first one, we do not include that as the total. If not, we'll be double counting. Okay, so from the first model, we have 4 units times 5. So that's 20 units. So 20 units is 520. So 1 unit is 520 divided by 20, which is 26. Find the number of secondary school principals. Secondary school principals is 9 units. So we take 26 times 9. And you get 234. Okay, so that's the answer. That's the number of secondary school principals at the conference. Question 2. At a concert, 45% of the audience were female adults, 30% were male adults, and the rest were children. There were 450 children at the concert. So for part A, how many female adults were there at the concert? Okay, 100% is the total. 45% were female adults, 30% were male adults. Let's find the percentage for the children. We're given the actual number, but not the percentage. So let's find out what's the percentage. So 100% minus 45% and minus 30%. This will be 25%. So children will be 25%, and 25% represents 450. So with that, I find 1%. So 450 divided by 25, which is 18. Question is asking for how many female adults were there at a concert. Female adults will be 45%. So let's find 45%. 810. Okay, so answer for part A is 810. Okay, for part B, 150 female adults left the concert before it ended. What percentage of the audience was made up of female adults at the end of the concert? Okay, so first, what we want to find is how many female adults are there at the end of the concert. From part A, I know that there's 810 at first. Okay, so let's take 810 minus 150. So this is female in the end. Okay, 660. If you want to find the percentage of the audience, right, at the end, then you need to find what is the total number of people at the end. So with that, I will find the total at first. Okay, earlier on, 1% is 18. So the total at first will be 100%. Okay, so total at first. So I take 18 times 100 because I want to find 100% at first. Okay, the total will change because 150 female adults left. So the total in the end one eight zero zero minus 150, 1650. So since I want to find the percentage, so I take the number of female adults in the end over the total in the end. Then times 100%. Okay, I'll end up with 40%. So that's the answer. So common error for this question is that students may forget that the total in the end would change and they end up using 660 over 1800 instead. Okay, remember the number of female adults change, so that will actually change the total in the end as well. Okay, next question, question 3, the last question. Mr. Chan bought a laptop and a printer from a shop. He paid a total of $1824 for these two items after discount. The total discount given for the laptop and printer was $246. Find the percentage discount given for the printer. Okay, so the printer, we don't know what's the usual price and we don't know what's the discount, the percentage discount, which is what we're trying to find. Two things we need if we want to find percentage discount. One is the amount of discount given, and then second thing is the original price. of the printer. Okay, to find the original price of the printer, right? First, let's find what's the total original price. He paid a total of 1824. So this is after discount. Now, there's a total discount of 246. So you take that amount that he paid, 1824, add it to the discount that he got, and that will be the total amount before discount. Okay, so total before discount will be 1824 plus 246. 2070. Now, the total price of the laptop is 1290. So to find the usual price of the printer, I'll take the total minus of the laptop. So usual price of printer. $2070 minus 1290. I'll get $780. Okay, next, the discount for both items is 246. So to find the discount for the printer, I need to minus off the laptop. So I need to find the amount of discount given for the laptop first, which is 10% of the usual price. Okay, let's calculate what's that. The discount for laptop. 10% of 1290. So 10 over 100 times 1290. That will give us $129. So out of the $246 discount, right? 129 was for the laptop. So the discount for the printer would be 246 minus 129, which is 117. So to find percentage discount, it is discount over original times 100%. The discount for the printer is 117. The original price of the printer is 780. Then we multiply it by 100%, and you get 15%. That is the percentage discount given for the printer. Okay, so that's the answer, 15%. Okay, with that, that is all for this paper. Nanhua P6 2024. This is a for term 1 non-weighted assessment.